Okay. Let's see here. Alright, let me get shit organized here. Let's see. I gotta get back in the center console again. A good idea to put that stuff in your pocket, so we'll have to move you again. We gotta get in the center console. Some of y'all may not approve of that one wire. Get everything all out, and then we'll explain. And we'll explain what we're doing in here. Get that wire out. Okay. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's supposed to rain this afternoon. So I film my weekly project videos at odd times of the day. It's not always in the morning. But this morning, we're filming this morning. If you haven't noticed the clock, should have done an install video of that. I mean, what you're going to see how easy it is. Did I even bring the... No, I did not bring the socket set. Bear with me, we'll be right back. Alright. We got my socket set here. I'm gonna actually be installing my radio for third time. Managed to install the factory back in. We got a subwoofer in the trunk, but it's not connected to anything. I'm slowly trying to get my amp hooked up in this. We had everything to install it in the Pontiac, but of course, you know, then I ended up getting rid of the Pontiac, and then we ended up getting this. So, I know that on YouTube, they show you using like a little plastic piece to get around inside here. See my hand? But I've gotten so good at this that I just work my hand. So basically, this whole piece that's in my hand, we got from a junkyard out of another Fusion. I wish it was the same panel as the old one. It just says Fusion here. So I was like, well, how's that going to work? You know, I wanted the clock. And my buddy's like, well, you're going to have to get the whole bezel with the clock in it. So there's two different ones. But first I took it apart and made sure I had the, you know, the wire for the clock. And I feel a sneeze coming on. Thank you if you commented saying that, you know, bless you for sneezing. So, okay. So basically all you do is pop that out and get your bezel with the clock, like what's in my hand. I would show you the other one, but unfortunately, when I did get the clock, I just put this in and hooked these up, hooked the clock up, but the bulb didn't work, and I just left this other piece up there. So it's not here for me to show you. I mean, if I decide to sell the car, I'll probably sell it with both trim pieces. Or I'll keep the clock and just mount it on the wall somewhere. Maybe light some stuff. Maybe put a light in there, light that up. Maybe somehow putting a stereo in here to have in the man cave or something. It'd be kind of cool. The old one is broken though, unfortunately. I think I broke something on here. I broke, but I don't see this one doesn't have it. And well, he could have just got the clock out and just say, "Here's the clock," but I would have need this whole part to do that. Let's see. And then that taking that off, that exposes the 4 bolts. Let's see. Move that. I'm not using my ratcheting ratchet. I know, the cordless ratchet. I did when I put this factory radio back in. It was actually snowing that day. Well, anyways, we had to pull the radio back out, and due to I was having issues with it, and kind of messed up and rushed putting it in. So the red wire, which I think is the key wire, I wire nutted and taped it, and it came loose. So it was making the radio act weird. I found another wire that was loose, and I went and ground out another wire for the DVD part, videos, pictures, because it would be nice. I think you could put a actual picture as a background, but it won't let you do it unless that wire's grounded. It's for the the brake lever. I still think the reason why I went dumb, I took my SD card out of it, put it in my Bluetooth dongle. My father-in-law, so he can try it out in his Tahoe. And ever since then, the radio went goofy. So there could still be a chance we might be doing this again, because he has a brand new stereo that's like this one, but I think it's a newer version of it that he's willing to sell me, and I'll just have to pay payments. Okay, so I reverse this. Oh, by the way, this is a 7mm socket with an extension. And there's something else about it I won't have to about this. See, this is where the this is very simple to do. It's not like the Pontiac. The Pontiac, you have to drop the glove box. The actual glove box has to come out. You actually have to drop half the dash on the bottom of the dash on each side has to be dropped. So even on the driver's side, there's 2 panels on each side. On the side of the dashboard, both of those have to come out. Then there's side panels on the console. Where on the driver's side where your right leg is, those have to come out. I don't think the center console has to come out though. I don't think. Then this comes out, and along with there's a bezel that comes down here. Then once you get that out, you have to take the heater controls, HVAC controls. That's a better way of putting it. Those have to come out to get to the screws for the radio. In my Pontiac, was weird anyways. The radio kit for putting an aftermarket radio in it was supposed to work with it, which was not. So, just about every wire on that connector had to get moved. I think it was mainly the speaker wires. And then you had to add a second wire and fuse into the fuse panel on the passenger side where the passenger's left leg would be. Foot, leg, same thing. Because the radio is weird and GM made it to where everything ran through the radio, like your trip odometer, fuel mileage, you know, all that, oil life, which just doesn't have that. Alright, once you get all the bolts out, it would be nice to have somebody here. He could be holding the camera and holding that. So once that's loose, you pull this forward. Well, that's as far as I can get it. Let's see. Okay, that's going to have to wait. This car does not have the Bluetooth phone. I mean, the radio can support it. When you hit the phone button, it says no phone. So this car didn't come with it. This car did come with XM satellite, but unfortunately the module doesn't work. That needs to be replaced for it to work. I mean, if it did work, I probably wouldn't be doing this. So with the aftermarket stereo, this, if you can see here, this wire that's in my hand, that can actually get tucked away, because that's for, let's see here, where does that wire go? Bring that wire back up. I wasn't seeing where that wire went to, but it's somewhere in here. Online, it was saying where the module is for the XM, but it's not telling me much. Well, anyways, we just take that wire, we just shove it in the corner. We're going to take our antenna adapter. We're going to plug that in. Then that gives us that. We can like tuck that away. Okay. Then we're going to take our aftermarket stereo harness. The only downfall with doing an aftermarket stereo is it makes the wire longer, in a sense, if you think about it and connect it together right. Technically, you should disconnect the battery when you do this, but it's not like all I'm doing is plugging the radio in. Then here's where you might not agree to what I'm going to do. Just as I had this in my Pontiac. These are Apple headphones with the microphone. Since I don't have the microphone that came with the stereo, we just plug that into there. And then I'll just set these up here out the way. This is how I done it in the Pontiac. Alright. I wish these wires would stay out of my way. Now that the other upside with this being so long, do I have this facing the right way? No. Turn the radio around the right way. Oh, there's some other adapter Roonies. I'm missing stuff. Well, let's see if this is going to even work first. And then we plug all this in. Listen to the speakers make noises. Okay. There's some brackets there where you see these are. There's plastic pieces that go behind it. And so put the key in. The issue was the touchscreen.
Everything in a completely different way.
The issue is the touchscreen wasn't working.
I think that words matter, and they
We
matter
got a DVD we're gonna try out. So what I did right on the end of the screen told me right. So now it plays DVDs. Let that run for a minute. I don't want the volume up too loud. Oh, it's giving me the airbag light. Reason being is I think it's because the switch is disconnected, so the airbag light is going to stay on. Huh. I don't know, it's still acting goofy. Didn't we just do this? I'm not doing this to watch movies in the car. I'm not. I'm just doing this so that I can load photos on the thing. You know, for like a background. But, you know, to do that, it wants you to have that wire connected or parking brake put up. So while Lynn's doing that, I'm going to have to move y'all again. So I can find these. Test the volume for a minute. Here comes the wife.
Tell Dad about what never has seen it. Dad, well, not seen it, but hasn't texted that. He's like, I knew he was gonna pull this shit. That was fine.
We got the movie on.
What movie?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's working.
Oh, it was one of the kid movies.
Yeah. And yes, I'm filming a video doing this. Okay. So, you get the. Let's see, this would have been nice. You should run a screwdriver. So, where's the wife? Banging a house. Sorry about that. Wife was telling me what's going on. Our kitchen sink has been clogged. Drain's been clogged for almost 2 years. Or maybe a year and a half. But anyways, it's in. You're gonna need to get longer screws. I don't know about anybody else that's done this, but for some reason, this corner, the bottom left-hand corner, was the only corner I was able to get. I spent hours when I first put this in, trying to get this to, oh, let me switch that, trying to get these screws in. So I was like, well, we'll just put one in, and I'm following the laws of mechanic. And he's like, no, you know. Yeah, see, and he's like, you need to have them all. I'm like, well, I was okay with how, that's right. There's a certain way I loosen. Don't do what I just did. Always loosen the screws. When you put the screws in, just put them on enough to where they're not tight. And then back them off a little bit. Am I using the right screws? Probably not. But the ones that he gave me to replace the ones that weren't long enough, they are the same size. The reason why I say to leave them loose, I'll show you in a minute once I get them in. Yeah, I know, it's a little pain in the butt to go back and forth. Yeah, I'm still using my Stanley set that y'all seen in my previous videos from years ago, when we worked on lawnmowers in Pennsylvania on 8th Street. I know you have to remember that. If not, you would have to go through videos like 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So, once we get that done, then what I do is I like to pick up the stereo like this. Did I not switch it? And then tighten them, holding it up. You don't have to give these ugga-duggas. I'll show you in a minute why I done it that way. At this point, you really don't need your tools in your socket set anymore. So we go ahead and put that away. Reason being is because I have it at an angle on the passenger seat. And well, when I put this in during a little snowstorm. Actually, we had a snowstorm when I first put it in the first time. It was cold. I should get a tie twisty. So what I do with this, I just wrap this up. It's got the microphone. I think that's the microphone. Well, anyways, when I'm on the phone, they can hear me. So I sit at the top of the stereo. You know, they said they can hear me, so I'm fine with how it is. So we plug these back in. I think this is the clock. And when I got the clock, I had to go through excuse my French, but I had to go through a lot to get the bulb. Father-in-law brought some used ones home. They didn't even fit. One did fit, but it wasn't right. I kind of made it fit. Let me plug those all back in. And then this is why I like to hold it up, because if not, this bottom part lip, it wouldn't be right. So before we snap it all in, I'm gonna have to close the door. Make sure all these buttons work. And then that they do. Well, I was about to say, oh, check engine light's still blinking, so it hasn't learned yet. You know, put this all in. Doesn't feel like it's in right, but it's in the way it was when I took it out. I don't know why I'm worried about gaps. The cover for this broke. It's in the console. Just I might as well leave it out. Well, during the day, you really can't see the picture. But there you have it. That's how you install a aftermarket stereo in a 2009 Ford Fusion. Pretty proud of myself. I didn't, like I said, I spent days and days checking the wiring. The other downfall is that, you know, the buttons on the steering wheel don't work at the end of the day. That requires a separate module. It's just like $70-80 online. The radio, I have to come back out. That I cannot do. I cannot wire that in. Be nice to have it, but you know, first car actually having that actually has those buttons. So basically, when I got rid of the Pontiac, I gained steering wheel buttons for the radio and cruise control, and then I gained a 95% powered seat. The reclining part of the seat doesn't recline, it's not powered, but I lost my automatic headlights. I gained 3 things and lost 1 thing. So occasionally I've driven with no headlights on. I got as well, I mean, they didn't need to be on. They were like, yeah, that borderline of being on. I was still able to see. And halfway home from Kings Dominion amusement park we go to, and I'm like, man, I can't really see. And I'll turn the lights on. You can turn the parking lights on and turn on the bottom lights. I've driven with just those before. Mainly to see what it would be like if I ever had to do it. Probably not. And there's been times I've already left the headlights on and killed the battery. Done that a couple times. Twice already. So this battery has been dead. So the 2 times for the headlights. Once, I don't know why. And the other reason was during that winter storm we had in January. The car sat almost a week without being touched, so it did the clickety-click. So yeah, it's been, you know, where it wouldn't start 4 times. Battery's coming up a year old on my birthday. So this year. So that's great. That's great. Yeah, that's about it. I wish the car would make the car perfect if the seat would recline part of the seat was powered and had automatic headlights. But cruise control. I'm glad I got that. Keeps you out of trouble. And I do use the... I mean, I still have to look down at the, the steering wheel to set it. And, oh, the other different thing is the gear shifter. On here only have low. The Pontiac has other, gears. I don't know how that works. I've only downshifted this thing. Not even maybe a handful, half a handful, maybe about a handful of times, should say that. Mainly that's when we go through the mountains on US Route 40. Before you get off on the 119. I think that's 119 North, I think. When you're coming down that mountain pass, the summit. Yeah, you're definitely going to want to be careful going through there. We definitely, the car, especially this car likes to kind of like, it goes. It's like, come on, let's go. Now, if you have a heavy car like a Crown Vic, Victoria, a Cadillac, or a big LTD, yeah, you're going to have to definitely downshift in those. They like to hug the car. The car likes to hug the road and like, let's go. Well, that's going to end this video. Let's stay tuned. There's more computer videos. Well, the season started, so you're going to see some lawnmowers, and I don't know if we're going to do a garden. Well, I'm going to do a garden, but I don't know if I'm going to do a garden season this year. I don't know. And to come think of it, I might not. And I might show you all the garden. And what I might do is put the garden, if I'm working outside, doing, weekly project videos, maybe show the garden in it. Instead of doing weekly garden videos, because no one's watching them. No one's commenting on it. Some of my weekly project videos, y'all are not viewing as much as others. Linux videos, too. The Linux videos did great. And I thank y'all for watching that. I'm not a big deal. I'm not like Vice Grip Garage. I'm not like Pool Barn Garage. What's that other one? Junkyard Digs. Those are my three favorite. And what's that other one? Morkski. Yeah. Those are my favorite ones that I usually watch. I'm not them people. They got cameras. I got a cell phone, so. And they work on cars. I work on computers, actually. As all this winter was nothing but computers. Well, we got non-computer content coming, so. Thank you for watching. If you have a comment, please leave one. Thanks for watching.